A health alert. More than 30 million Americans have diabetes. A study conducted by Harvard University in the last semester of 2024 proved that the true cause of diabetes is not related to the amount of sugar we consume, age, or even genetics, but rather to the excess of harmful bacteria present in the gut. These bacteria block insulin production in the pancreas, and without enough insulin, sugar is not metabolized and remains in high amounts in the bloodstream, leading to diabetes. Thanks to this discovery, scientists were able to develop a home method that regulates gut microbiota, eliminating harmful bacteria and stimulating the production of good bacteria, which allows the pancreas to start producing insulin again, completely reversing type 2. To bring us more details about this discovery, we interviewed Dr. Bruce Halbert, one of the Harvard specialists who participated in the study.
If you have prediabetes, type 2 diabetes, or insulin-related problems, this is the most important video of your life. Because in the next 5 minutes, I'm practically going to spit in the face of all the thieves, scammers, and liars who have been draining money from your wallet, forcing you to spend a fortune on the latest diabetes treatment or the magic pill they offer. I'm also going to show you the real reason why you can't control your blood sugar levels, even though you've tried everything. And let me tell you up front, it's not your fault. In fact, according to a recent discovery from Harvard, what causes your type 2 diabetes has very little to do with your diet, genetics, or age. It actually has to do with a diabetic parasite that attacks your internal organs at night while you sleep. This parasite silently raises your blood sugar levels, causing uncontrollable cravings for sweets and carbs 24 hours a day. The good news? The same researchers who discovered this also uncovered a bizarre cinnamon ritual that combats this parasite and lowers blood sugar almost immediately while you sleep. This cinnamon ritual has gone viral, and thousands of people are reversing type 2 diabetes just by using it. Take, for example, Tony Scott, a 57-year-old former diabetic who shared his story on social media.
I suffered from type 2 diabetes for 6 long years. But ever since I started doing this cinnamon ritual, well, my blood sugar levels have not only gone down, but yesterday I went to my doctor and he shared my results of my last tests. According to him, I've managed to reverse my diabetes. You should have seen the look of surprise on his face.
Thousands of people are recommending this cinnamon ritual online every day, but no one knows exactly how to do it. That's why for today's episode of Better Health, our team invited the renowned endocrinologist and type 2 diabetes specialist, Dr. Bruce Halbert, to explain what this diabetic parasite is and why it's the main culprit behind your high blood sugar levels, and what is the worst medication in the world for people suffering from type 2 diabetes. Dr. Halbert will reveal how a medication you're likely taking is directly linked to your elevated blood sugar levels. And finally, how to prepare this cinnamon ritual and use it today to immediately lower your glucose levels and start reversing your type 2 diabetes within the next few weeks. So please stay tuned with us until the end, because when you see your glucose dropping dramatically in just 1 week, I know you'll look back and thank God for watching this full interview. Thank you for joining us. I'm Ellen Smith, host of the Better Health program. And today we're going to chat with one of the world's leading authorities in the fight against type 2 diabetes. He's been an endocrinology specialist for 22 years, a professor of the Johns Hopkins Institute of Medicine, and the author of the book Diabetes Freedom, which was a bestseller the year it launched. Last year, he was awarded by Forbes magazine as the most influential health expert of 2023. All of this because he has helped around 36,000 people reverse type 2 diabetes 100% naturally. So it is with great pleasure that we welcome Dr. Bruce Halbert here today. Hi, Dr. Bruce. Pleasure to have you.
How are you?
Very well. Dr. Halbert, we're so glad you accepted our invitation to discuss such an important topic.
Good afternoon, Ellen. The pleasure is all mine. It's an honor to receive this invitation to sit down and chat with you. Today, I'm going to prove to everyone watching that it's possible to reverse type 2 diabetes permanently and 100% naturally. I'll show you several cases of my patients who reversed their diabetes in record time, doing exactly what I'll teach here today. I'll also reveal details about a diabetic parasite that most Americans are unaware of, but is the true cause of type 2 diabetes. And finally, I'll show you a simple cinnamon ritual that anyone can start using today to lower their blood sugar and completely eliminate type 2 diabetes. All of this without cutting sweets, carbs, or doing physical exercise. None of that. In fact, the only thing you at home will need to do is watch the entire interview, and I'll tell you everything. But it's important you watch until the end. Why? Because just last week, after this interview was announced, I received an email from a mysterious sender warning me to be careful with what I'm going to say. I believe it's a corrupt representation from the pharmaceutical industry who doesn't want people to discover this, just so they can keep lining their pockets with money from selling expensive and dangerous drugs. I honestly don't know what they might do to take this interview down. So, you need to pay close attention and watch until the end, because chances are you might never see this interview again.
Wow, doctor, that's very serious. I mean, there's so much corruption in this field, isn't there? Just recently, Dr. Oz came on our program and mentioned the threats he receives every year for exposing the dirt on these companies.
Unfortunately, Ellen, that's exactly why I requested to move this interview up, so people can access this information and it spreads as quickly as possible. Because my real intention here is to help.
I'm sure our viewers are very curious to know more about this, Bruce. But first, tell us a bit more about yourself. What motivated you to seek an alternative treatment for diabetes?
Well, you see, Ellen, throughout my entire career, I've always recommended the conventional treatments we're taught in medical school. Medications like metformin, glucophage, and of course, in more severe cases, daily insulin injections. I also advise my patients to cut carbs, exercise regularly, and improve their diets. At first, these methods can help, but over time, the body starts rejecting the medications, and that's when side effects appear. When this happens, many patients become scared and start losing hope. Countless times, I've heard my patients blaming themselves in my office, asking me things like, "What did I do to deserve this, doctor?" And I admit, every time I heard something like that, my chest would ache with pain. Whenever I saw my patients sad, insecure, and afraid of the future, I felt weak and started doubting myself. The breaking point came when my wife, Jane, called me saying she was feeling weak, her vision was blurry, and she was a bit dizzy. That worried me deeply. After all, these are all symptoms of diabetes. So the next day I decided to do a fasting blood sugar test with her. And it was confirmed. My beloved wife was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Just to give you an idea, her blood sugar levels were at 268 points, which is extremely dangerous.
Oh my goodness, doctor, that's crazy.
Exactly, Ellen. But, in a way, I thank God that I ran the test that day. Her blood sugar levels were so high that if I had waited any longer, I could have lost my wife.
I can only imagine how you must have felt, doctor. Now, one question. When it comes to blood sugar levels, at what point does it become life-threatening? Is there a specific threshold?
Well, when it reaches 280, you enter a critical zone where the risk of death or a diabetic coma becomes very real. So when I saw my wife's blood sugar at 268, I was terrified because we were so close to that limit.
Wow, doctor, that's frightening. What did you do next?
Well, as I always did with my patients, the first thing I did was adjust her diet to reduce her intake of sweets and carbs. I also prescribed metformin and advised her to take daily insulin injections. Then I kept monitoring her condition to see if her blood sugar levels would drop. And she did everything I asked. She cut sweets, checked her blood sugar regularly, and took all the medications on time. But even so, her condition seemed to worsen. Symptoms like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, weight gain, difficulty breathing, and lack of energy became even more common. She also constantly complained about not having the energy to do the things she loved, like taking our grandkids to the park or cooking. Slowly, my sweet Jane began losing her spark and her love for life. So with a heavy heart, I increased her medication dosage and started prescribing one drug after another.
Oh my God, poor thing.
You know what's worse? Not only did the medications lose their effectiveness over time, but they also started causing numerous side effects. Stomach problems, lack of appetite, bowel irregularities, hypoglycemic attacks, and even sudden fainting spells. After trying over 12 different medications without success, I had to turn to other solutions.
I see. And what solutions were those, doctor?
Well, everything you can imagine. Restrictive diets, exercise programs, miracle teas, and even alternative therapies like acupuncture. But while some of these solutions helped alleviate certain symptoms, none of them truly helped my wife reverse her diabetes. And every time we tried something new and failed, I felt our hope dwindling, The constant fear of the future and insecurity consumed both my heart and hers. And each day that passed, that worry only grew.
I can only imagine. I often say that diabetes is like a death timer. If you can't control it, each passing day brings you closer to something terrible happening because of this disease. It's heartbreaking.
Without a doubt, Ellen, it was destroying me, watching the person I love most endure so much suffering. I even started questioning myself as a doctor. After all, how could a diabetes specialist fail to help his own wife? I felt like a fraud. But then one day the worst happened. We were at our grandson Brian's 9th birthday party when, out of nowhere, he decided to offer the first slice of cake to Jane. She wasn't supposed to eat it, but it was a special occasion, and I never imagined anything could happen. So I allowed her to accept the first slice to make our grandson happy. That was the biggest mistake of my life, because the moment she put the third bite of cake in her mouth, she lost her balance and collapsed to the ground, disoriented. Everyone panicked. My daughter immediately called 911, and in the meantime, I checked her blood sugar levels. The result? Her blood sugar had skyrocketed to 391 points, and I was in despair.
Oh my God.
Yeah. At that moment, I thought I was going to lose my wife. My grandson started screaming, thinking it was his fault. My daughter began crying, and the party guests were in absolute shock. From that point on, all I remember was the sound of the ambulance and the paramedics rushing in to take her to the hospital. The night was long. I spent the entire night on edge, bracing for the worst. But thank God, by morning her condition stabilized and she woke up. The doctor said she had suffered a brief diabetic coma, and that if they had delayed getting her to the emergency room, she might not have survived.
That must have been terrifying, Doctor.
Ellen, it was the most desperate moment of my life. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. But the hardest part was seeing her lying there, fragile in that hospital bed with a deep look of fear in her eyes. I realized she had given up the fight and was simply waiting for her time to come. Unfortunately, type 2 diabetes had stripped away all her hope. But I couldn't give up. I saw that moment as a second chance and promised my beloved Jane that I would find a cure for her condition. I didn't know how, but I still had hope that I could help her and free her from that situation.
Amazing. And so what did you do next, Doctor?
I still didn't know what to do. My research wasn't leading anywhere until I remembered that a few months ago, I had received an offer from Pfizer to work with them on researching a new diabetes medication. Since Pfizer is a billion-dollar company, I thought I could use their resources to my advantage to find something that would help my wife. So I called the woman who had offered me the job and accepted.
Oh, so you worked at Pfizer too, Doctor?
Yes, Ellen, I did work there. And while I'm proud of the discovery I made while working at Pfizer, I was also horrified to see that all those conspiracy theories about the pharmaceutical industry manipulating the market for profit were true.
What do you mean, Doctor?
Listen, Ellen, I want you and everyone watching to pay close attention to everything I'm about to say, because what I have to reveal might shock you all.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Well, you see, I joined Pfizer as the director of research. My job was to lead a team of over 200 researchers to create a new type 2 diabetes medication that would outperform metformin and glucophage. At first, I was very excited and even considered it a noble initiative on their part. But once I uncovered the truth, I was utterly disgusted. Listen, my team and I spent over 3 months studying new substances that could be used to combat type 2 diabetes. But for some reason, every time we got close to discovering something, my boss would shut us down. They'd say we were heading in the wrong direction, that these approaches wouldn't work, and so on. Until one day, frustrated with the situation, I decided to confront him. I arrived at his office 30 minutes before he did, intending to ask why he was doing this. But when I got there, I stumbled upon something I'll never forget. There was a sealed document on his desk titled Top Secret. I hesitated at first, but I imagined that this document might hold the answers I was looking for. So I decided to open it. It was a 15-page report detailing the biggest public health scandal I've ever seen in my life. Listen, Ellen, this is the first time I'm revealing this publicly. The moment Big Pharma sees this interview, they'll do everything they can to take it down. So please, make sure as many people as possible have access to this, okay?
Oh, of course, Doctor. Don't even worry about that.
All right. To everyone watching at home, listen closely to what I'm about to say. It's very important. You see, from 1915 to 1958, diabetes and obesity rates in the United States were nearly identical to those in Japan. However, starting in 1959, as the years went by, the number of people suffering from type 2 diabetes in America skyrocketed, while in Japan, those numbers only decreased. The question is, why did this happen?
I have no idea. Was it because of our diet or our genetics?
Quite the opposite, Ellen. This document, written by a former CIA informant, explains everything. You see, the Japanese were furious about the U.S. attack on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945. But at the time, they didn't have the technology to build an atomic bomb. And they knew that if they attacked America, they would face severe consequences. So they devised a cunning plan to silently decimate the American population without anyone noticing. Notice how over the years, the U.S. never had a Japanese-origin political representative in government. But in 1959, a man of Japanese descent, the famous U.S. Senator Daniel Inouye, was elected for the first time. And that's when everything started going wrong. In the report I found on my boss's desk, there were numerous graphs showing that after this man's election, the U.S. began importing sugar in massive quantities from Japan. And he was one of the main financiers of pro-sugar propaganda at the time. The graphs revealed that with each passing year he stayed in power, sugar consumption in the U.S. only increased, to the point where America became the largest consumer of sugar in the world.
It's insane, doctor.
Indeed. Now, here's the most shocking part. In 1959, fewer than 2,000 people died in the U.S. from type 2 diabetes. By 1960, just 1 year after this man assumed a significant position in Congress, around 39,000 deaths caused by type 2 diabetes were reported by the WHO. Coincidence? I don't think so. Meanwhile, in Japan, those numbers were so low, there's no recorded data from that time.
Oh my God.
As if that weren't enough, from 1960 to 2023, approximately 5 million Americans have died because of type 2 diabetes. In comparison, around 240,000 people died in the Hiroshima and Nagasaki attacks. The Japanese plan worked. They managed to get revenge on America, and we didn't even notice. And all of this was proven in that official document written by a former CIA informant that my boss had received. Shocking, isn't it?
It's terrifying, doctor. I would have never imagined any of this. Does that mean sugar is truly the villain behind type 2 diabetes?
Well, Ellen, sugar was the precursor to all of this. It's a true diabetic parasite that was introduced into our lives without us even realizing it. But now it's become a part of our daily routines. You can't just eliminate it. It could even be more harmful. The key point is that the document revealed a way to cure type 2 diabetes, even while consuming sugar. And that's what gave me hope.
Really? And so what is the cure?
Here's the thing. The problem isn't necessarily sugar. The issue is that excess sugar raises cortisol levels, the stress hormone, and inhibits the production of GABA and melatonin, the sleep hormones. When this happens, your body can no longer enter deep sleep at night, and that's what triggers the whole problem.
That's interesting, doctor. Could you please explain this in more detail?
Of course. You see, sleep is practically a recharging moment for our body. When we sleep healthily and deeply, our body eliminates toxins that harm our health, while also regulating our gut microbiota. And this is the most important part of all.
The gut is the most important part?
Exactly, Ellen. The reason is simple. See, I bet you've heard that the gut is our second brain, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, that's because there are 500 million neurons in our gut, over 30,000 different types of neurotransmitters, and most importantly, more than 1 trillion bacteria that control our gut microbiota. Some of these bacteria are good and help our body with various functions, such as improving digestion, regulating metabolism, even controlling appetite. On the other hand, many of these bacteria are harmful and cause numerous problems in our body. An example is H. pylori, one of the leading causes of gastritis. Knowing this, the researchers behind that report decided to investigate the connection between gut bacteria and sleep. And they identified that people who can achieve deep, restorative sleep have a higher amount of bacteroides, or good bacteria. These good bacteria work like sugar termites, consuming about 63% of glucose molecules in the bloodstream that cause blood sugar spikes. Additionally, these bacteria stimulate the natural production of insulin and increase your body's insulin absorption by up to 433%, preventing you from suffering from high blood sugar, even while eating sweets and carbs daily. However, people with poor quality sleep produce more firmicutes, or bad bacteria, which increase insulin resistance and multiply glucose cells in your body, causing you to constantly suffer from high blood sugar, dizziness, tingling sensations, and all the symptoms of diabetes. This is also why most people with diabetes wake up with very high blood sugar levels.
Wow, doctor, that makes so much sense.
Exactly, Ellen. When I read that in the report, I was shocked because it all made perfect sense.
But doctor, if sugar raises cortisol, preventing deep sleep and causing type 2 diabetes, then why can't patients who stop eating sugar cure their diabetes?
Well, because we've been consuming sugar since we were kids. That excess sugar has already maxed out our cortisol levels. So cutting sugar won't solve the problem. In fact, it might even make it worse. If you suddenly cut sugar, your body might start craving it, leaving you stressed and increasing your cortisol levels even further. This will make your sleep worse, and your diabetes will only get more severe. The solution isn't and never has been to cut sugar. What people with type 2 diabetes really need to do is lower their cortisol levels.
Now I get it. So to reverse diabetes, people need to reduce cortisol production, correct? Did the report show how to do this?
Exactly. But this is where things get more sinister. Before I could finish reading the document, I heard my boss approaching his office. At that moment, I immediately closed the document, and when he arrived, I pretended I hadn't seen anything. He came in angry, asking what I was doing in his office. By then, I had realized they didn't want me to find a cure. What they really wanted was another ineffective medication they could sell at a high price to make abusive profits. So I lied, saying I was working on a new version of metformin that could be sold at 3 times the price while costing half as much to produce. This seemed to throw him off. So I told him I'd present it at our next meeting. Then I rushed back to my office and started researching a potential solution I'd seen mentioned in the document. I hadn't had time to read it all, so I had to conduct my own investigation. The report mentioned an antioxidant called cinnamic acid. Through my research, I found several studies published by Harvard University showing that the simple nutrient was responsible for reversing type 2 diabetes in thousands of patients.
Wow, that's incredible. How does it work?
Well, I'll tell you. Well, now we've reached the most important part of this video. If you're tired of pricking your finger every day and spending thousands of dollars each year on insulin, metformin, glucophage, and other medications that don't help your diabetes, stop everything you're doing and listen carefully to what I'm about to say, because I'm going to show you exactly what I did to free my beloved Jane and thousands of other Americans from type 2 diabetes. You see, after discovering cinnamic acid, I decided to dig deeper into it. And I found numerous studies from renowned institutions like Oxford, Manchester, and even the prestigious Nature journal, pointing to this substance as the most powerful weapon against type 2 diabetes. These studies highlighted cases like that of British citizen Tom Watson, who reversed type 2 diabetes in just 42 days using cinnamic acid. The research showed that this substance could reduce cortisol levels by up to 84%, restore deep restorative sleep like we had in our youth, regulate hormone production, and repopulate your gut with good bacteria, making your microbiota 80% composed of healthy bacteria that eliminate blood sugar and increase your body's natural insulin absorption by up to 433%. It's no wonder that out of over 6,000 people tested with cinnamic acid, about 93% managed to completely reverse type 2 diabetes in less than 3 months.
That's astounding, doctor.
Exactly. The moment I saw all of that, I didn't think twice about resigning from my job and pursuing this substance to help my wife. But there was still one big problem.
What was that?
Well, I had no idea where or how to find this substance. So I began reading some books on the subject. And I discovered that there's a specific type of cinnamon called Ceylon cinnamon, which contains the highest amount of this antioxidant in the world. This Ceylon cinnamon is considered by many experts to be the true cinnamon. And besides being very popular in Japan, it's native to the Sri Lanka region. The most impressive part? If you dig deeper, you'll discover that despite Sri Lanka having over 20 million inhabitants, less than 1% of the population suffers from type 2 diabetes, making it the country with the lowest diabetes rates per capita.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
Exactly. It couldn't just be a coincidence. As I dug deeper into the Ceylon cinnamon and cinnamic acid, I found a series of scientific studies that had been hidden from me and millions of American citizens. Just to give you an idea, in 2023, researchers from the Johns Hopkins Institute extracted cinnamic acid from Ceylon cinnamon and tested it on over 8,000 American volunteers with type 2 diabetes. The participants included people in their 40s, 50s, and even 80s. Some had healthy diets. Others had poor diets. Some had been battling type 2 diabetes for over 10 years, while others had been fighting it for over 30 years, and so on. The researchers conducted countless tests on the volunteers, and after 8 weeks, the results were astounding. The cinnamic acid extract reduced cortisol levels and stimulated deep sleep in all the volunteers. And as a result, about 96% of participants achieved complete reversal of type 2 diabetes within the same time frame. As for the other 6%, although they didn't fully reverse their diabetes, they managed to lower and control their blood sugar levels immediately. On top of that, one of the most surprising findings was that the average blood sugar level of participants, which started at 245, dropped to 89 points. And all participants reported a range of benefits beyond blood sugar control, such as better sleep quality, weight loss, lower cholesterol, reduced visceral fat, stronger immunity, more energy and vitality, and much more.
Wow, that's incredible. But I do have an important question. If all of this has already been proven, then why doesn't anyone talk about it?
Well, Ellen, when this study was published, the pharmaceutical industry began noticing a decline in insulin and metformin sales. During that time, companies like Pfizer and MSD saw their stock prices plummet. Afraid of losing their golden goose, the corrupt executives behind Big Pharma removed most websites that had published these scientific studies. But many people already knew about the power of cinnamic acid and were reaping its benefits. That's when many pharmaceutical companies began producing counterfeit cinnamic acid supplements to manipulate public opinion and hide this solution from the population. However, the study was very clear in stating that only the cinnamic acid found in Ceylon cinnamon has the proper effect on the human body. But the pharmaceutical industry used every weapon at its disposal to hide this information from all of us. Unfortunately, this is what they always do. Whenever someone discovers a natural way to combat a global disease, these giant pharmaceutical companies come together and pay millions to buy the patent for the discovery. For example, Pfizer, one of the largest pharmaceutical companies in the United States, purchased a patent from a Japanese scientist named Liam Kobata in 2018 for $580 million. This scientist had recently gained attention for his studies on a protein called CD36, which appears in all cancer cells, and he claimed to be on the verge of discovering a cure for cancer. A few months later, Pfizer offered a fortune for the patent of his discoveries, and the scientist disappeared from the public eye, never publishing anything about the topic again. Quite a coincidence, don't you think? The truth is, these billion-dollar companies already hold the cures for 99% of diseases, but they'll keep them hidden until the end of time. Because, think about it. Imagine if the cures for cancer, diabetes, or AIDS became public knowledge. 90% of these companies would go bankrupt overnight. There's too much money at stake. To give you an idea, in 2023 alone, the pharmaceutical industry earned over $157 billion in the U.S. Unfortunately, the more sick people there are in need of medication, the more money they make. That's how these greedy scoundrels think.
Unbelievable. I had no idea these companies were so corrupt.
Well, unfortunately, they are. And the ones who suffer the most are the people dealing with these illnesses, including my wife at the time. But I wasn't going to give up so easily on saving her life. So I rolled up my sleeves and got to work. I knew I had to find a way to extract this cinnamic acid. And I also knew where to find the planet's most potent source, the powerful natural remedy from Sri Lanka, Ceylon cinnamon. But I'm not a scientist or biochemist, so I needed a specialized lab to help me. That's when I remembered I had the contact of the head researcher at 8 Health, the #1 natural supplement laboratory in America, based in Palo Alto, California. This is the leading natural supplement lab in the United States, and the only one with an A+ rating from the FDA. This means it's the most trustworthy lab in the world when it comes to creating 100% natural formulas. And it's also the only lab that can stand up to the restrictions imposed by the pharmaceutical industry. It was at 8 Health that groundbreaking products like whey protein, collagen, and vitamin C supplements were developed, changing the world. In fact, when I shared my idea with 8 Health's head research, Dr. Gary Whiter, he was initially hesitant. He told me he'd only create something if he was sure it worked. So I showed him all the evidence and studies I mentioned here, and he realized he was facing a world-changing opportunity, a unique chance, not just to treat, but to help millions of people fully reverse type 2 diabetes. Thankfully, the executives agreed to develop the extraction formula, and the very next day, the scientists at 8 Health began their research, which I had the honor of leading. We spent months conducting experiments and facing setbacks trying to extract cinnamic acid from Ceylon cinnamon. Until earlier this year, we finally developed a proven and definitive formula, which is the very extract I'm holding in my hand. This cinnamic acid extract activates deep sleep in anyone, boosts the production of good bacteria, eliminates bad bacteria, and regulates blood sugar levels once and for all.
That's incredible. Congratulations on all of your hard work, and especially for your courage to fight against these massive pharmaceutical companies. It couldn't have been easy. So this is the secret that has helped thousands of your patients reverse their condition without relying on manipulated drugs?
Yes, it is. That is exactly right, Ellen. I've had patients completely reverse diabetes in less than 4 weeks. Can you imagine? And it wasn't just 1 or 2. There were many. And one of those patients, thank God, was Sarah, my beloved wife. That's why I can confidently say that in all my years of practice, I've never seen anything as unique and powerful against diabetes as this formula. Because this cinnamic acid is the only solution that addresses the root cause of the problem by activating deep sleep, regulating gut microbiota, and forcing every cell in your body to naturally absorb insulin, banishing type 2 diabetes from your body for good. And it all happens in a very simple and natural way, to be honest. When we successfully extracted cinnamic acid, we transformed it into an ultra-concentrated formula in dropper form to ensure faster absorption. I even nicknamed it Sugar 6 because it's the only formula that activates deep sleep, balances gut microbiota, and increases your body's natural insulin absorption. And I was so confident when we created this formula that the first thing I did was take 6 bottles to my wife as the recommended treatment last 6 months. Because within the first 7 days, her blood sugar levels dropped from 240 to 115. She started waking up with more energy, feeling happier, and the pain and tingling she used to complain about disappeared completely. But the best part was when she completed 4 weeks of treatment. We did a fasting glucose test, and her levels stabilized at 85, and they've stayed that way ever since. In fact, when we got the test confirming she was officially cured of diabetes, we called everyone and gathered the whole family to celebrate. You know, I remember the first thing she did when we got home was throw away all those medications, and all the anxiety and worry about the next needle prick turned into pure joy. And after months, I finally saw my dear wife smiling as she always used to, after so much suffering. Her life was no longer controlled by glucose meters or the symptoms of diabetes. And I can only thank God for helping me give her this second chance.
That's incredible. It's just an incredible story. I'm so happy for the both of you. It wasn't easy, but was it worth it?
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Seeing my wife full of life, cooking Sunday lunch for the whole family, returning to her hobbies with joy, smiling everywhere she went, it's truly priceless. It's an indescribable feeling.
I can imagine, doctor. There's nothing better than seeing the ones that we love happy and healthy, right? Well, now I think that the viewers at home must be eager to know how they can get their hands on this revolutionary Sugar 6 formula. And the good news is that Dr. Halbert has agreed to give away some bottles for free to our program's viewers. Isn't that right, Doctor?
Well, it was supposed to be a surprise, but yes, Ellen. As part of our Diabetes Zero campaign today, you watching at home will have the opportunity to claim up to 3 bottles of Sugar 6 for free.
Perfect. But before we talk more about this amazing opportunity, we got in touch with some of your patients, Doctor. Let's take a look at what they have to say about Sugar 6.
Of course.
This is Steve, and my story goes like this. I was on the verge of losing a finger because of a wound that just wouldn't heal. Diabetes was consuming me to the point where I forgot who I was. I barely had the strength to work and felt like I was failing as a father and a husband. A friend recommended Sugar 6 to me, and honestly, it was a game changer. The wound healed, my blood sugar returned to normal, and I regained the energy to live life fully. Nowadays, I never miss an opportunity to recommend it to anyone going through what I once did.
Diabetes stole my life. My name is Claudia, and I spent years eating without enjoyment, controlling everything, and yet my test results just kept getting worse. I first heard about Sugar 6 through a video I watched on Facebook. At first I doubted it and hesitated, but after seeing all the results and the seriousness of the lab, I decided to give it a try. Today, I feel like I've been given a new chance to enjoy life. My blood sugar levels are great, and I can even treat myself to a piece of cake with my grandkids. Sugar 6 brought back my joy for living.
My gestational diabetes eventually turned into a chronic condition, and I thought I'd never regain control of my health. Sugar 6 was a game changer. My glucose levels stabilized. I lost the extra baby weight, and I feel much healthier to take care of my family.
That's incredible, Doctor. You've truly changed these people's lives.
Yes, and it fills my heart with joy. After seeing such amazing results, my team of scientists at 8 Health and I decided to dedicate an additional 5 months to further perfecting the formula. Our goal was to ensure it would work for anyone, regardless of age, gender, genetics, or other restrictions. And that's where Sugar 6 comes in. In addition to the cinnamic acid extracted from Ceylon cinnamon, we added 3 other incredibly powerful nutrients to Sugar 6's composition. These are African mango extract. This is the most powerful fruit on the planet when it comes to fighting fat accumulation, which directly influences blood sugar levels. According to a 2012 study published by the Harvard Medical Journal, African mango extract can triple the production of adiponectins, ADPs, in adipose tissue. In simple terms, ADPs are anti-inflammatory molecules that help convert calories into energy. The more ADPs your body produces, the more calories are converted into energy rather than stored as fat. On the other hand, fewer ADPs mean more calories are turned into white fat cells, creating that stubborn belly, thigh, and underarm fat we're all trying to lose. By using African mango extract daily, your body is forced to produce more ADP, which compels your metabolism to convert stored fat into energy, shedding pounds effortlessly. Some of my patients have lost over 20 pounds during treatment. Can we show the results?
Of course we can. Wow, those are amazing results.
Right? And the best part? Numerous studies have shown that this improvement in metabolism caused by weight loss helps make cells more sensitive to insulin. This allows glucose to be transported more effectively, preventing sugar spikes and crashes, dizziness episodes, and those uncontrollable carb cravings. Impressive, isn't it?
Absolutely. Now, let me make sure I understand. So patients regulate their blood sugar levels, burn belly fat, get in shape, and stop experiencing food cravings? Is that right? Now I even want to take home a bottle of this, and I don't even have diabetes.
Exactly, Ellen. And that's just the first nutrient. To make the formula truly infallible, we also added grapeseed extract. Now this is nature's most potent antioxidant diuretic. These tiny seeds have an incredible ability to activate an army of white blood cells in your immune system, working 24/7 to cleanse your bloodstream and eliminate toxins and harmful substances accumulated over the years. This not only directly aids in blood sugar control, but also boosts immunity, reduces inflammation, eases joint pain, and actively protects against various chronic diseases like diabetes, obesity, depression, Alzheimer's, and even cancer. And I'm not just saying this. These benefits were featured on the cover of Nature magazine in 2015, revolutionizing natural treatments for modern diseases. Now, what's even more interesting, when you eliminate these harmful toxins from your body, your skin cells regenerate at the same rate as when you were 20 or 25 years old. Yes, this process, known as cell regeneration, involves replacing old saggy cells with new elastic ones. It's the primary factor in reversing sagging skin, wrinkles, and the fine lines caused by premature aging. So, during the treatment, it's common for patients to notice their skin becoming smoother, firmer, and younger. If they use Sugar 6 for over 6 months, the transformation is incredible.
Wow, you really aimed to make something revolutionary with this formula, Dr. Halbert.
Yeah, but it doesn't stop there, Ellen. We added one more very important ingredient, green tea extract. Green tea has long been associated with appetite control because it contains a well-known polyphenol called catechin. When ingested, catechin directly affects the nervous system, dramatically increasing the production of leptin and the satiety hormone. So yes, green tea is essential for appetite control, acting as a natural hunger suppressant. But what most people don't know are the amazing brain benefits green tea offers. A comparative experiment with 2 lab rats conducted at the University of Michigan in 2021 showed that catechin has neuroprotective effects, directly influencing dopamine and serotonin production. These hormones give us energy, focus, good mood, and mental clarity while protecting against anxiety and depression. For those experiencing dizziness and fatigue due to diabetes, green tea is a lifesaver. Additionally, recent studies have shown that green tea extract also helps lower bad cholesterol and triglycerides, protecting cardiovascular health.
That's amazing, doctor. Congratulations on the formula you developed. It's incredible how these nutrients complement one another, isn't it?
Exactly, Ellen. That's why I confidently say that if someone takes just 2 droppers of Sugar 6 every night before bed for at least a month, they'll lower their blood sugar levels while also losing weight, boosting energy, and improving overall health.
I'm genuinely amazed. I've never seen anything like this formula. And the formula has already been FDA approved, right?
Absolutely. All 8 health formulas receive priority in the FDA approval process because it's the only lab with an A+ rating. The Sugar 6 formula is toxin-free, pesticide-free, and safe for anyone, regardless of age, gender, or allergies. You know, I often say Sugar 6 is like water. Anyone can use it. And the more you use it, the better.
Incredible, doctor. Now, tell me this. What's the difference between Sugar 6, metformin, insulin, and other supplements that claim to help with diabetes?
Well, Ellen, the answer lies in your question. While medications and other supplements help manage diabetes, Sugar 6 is the only formula that actually cures type 2 diabetes. Now, I say this because in my 22 years in this field, I've met countless people who tried everything: diets, exercise, supplements, insulin injections, you name it. But they only managed to fully eliminate type 2 diabetes when they started using Sugar 6. And that's because, unlike everything else out there, Sugar 6 is the only formula that puts you into deep sleep every night while you sleep. This repopulates your gut with good bacteria immediately. And from there, your blood sugar starts being absorbed faster, your insulin production skyrockets, and your body's cells finally start absorbing insulin naturally again. That's what leads to completely reversing type 2 diabetes.
I completely understand this, Dr. Halbert. That makes a lot of sense. But does it work for everyone or just some people?
Oh yes, the Sugar 6 formula was developed to work for everyone, regardless of age, weight, or genetics. You don't need to cut carbs, sweets, follow a diet, or exercise. Just take 2 droppers under your tongue each night before bed, and shortly after, you'll enter deep restorative sleep, which will regulate your gut microbiota and permanently lower your blood sugar levels. But here's an important warning. Don't throw away your diabetes medications the moment you start treatment. It's best to keep taking them for at least the first 6 weeks of using Sugar 6, and only after tests confirm you're no longer diabetic. That's when you can toss out all those meds and stick to your daily sugar 6 routine. This should all be discussed with your doctor. But I can already imagine your joy when you see test results showing you're free of high blood sugar, and you no longer have to rely on those unbearable meds. I've seen this happen countless times. Some patients hug me, cry, call their kids husbands or wives. It's so rewarding to be part of that.
Wow, I can only imagine, doctor. That must be such a special moment. And in your experience, how long does it typically take for someone to be fully cured?
Good question. In the first 10 days, patients can already control their blood sugar levels and start feeling more energy and vitality in their daily lives. Within the first 20 days, common symptoms like tingling, blurred vision, and dizziness begin to disappear. And between 4 to 6 weeks, patients are completely cured of type 2 diabetes. But it's very important for patients to continue using Sugar 6 for at least 6 months to ensure their body remains protected and to prevent the disease from returning. Now, I say this because we've noticed that many of our patients experience permanent benefits from Sugar 6 after consistent use for 6 to 12 months. That's the equivalent of 6 to 12 bottles. Now, some patients who stopped using Sugar 6 midway reported losing some of the formula's benefits. And look, when compared to conventional treatments, this time frame is incredibly fast.
Wow, that's really fast. I know people who have been struggling with this for over 10 years.
Exactly. And that's dangerous, Ellen, because every day that passes increases the chances of developing heart problems, losing vision, or in some cases, even having to amputate limbs due to diabetic neuropathy. And that's why I always tell people to start treatment as soon as possible. Diabetes is no joke. It's dangerous, but you can free yourself from it and avoid these risks with daily use of Sugar 6.
Dr. Halbert, once again, congratulations on your formula and your dedication to helping people. I imagine our viewers are eager to get their hands on the proven and innovative solution. So tell us, how can they secure their own bottles of Sugar 6 right now?
Absolutely, Ellen. Well, as of today, the only place where people can get Sugar 6 is on our official website. It's not sold in pharmacies because pharmaceutical companies have banned it from being sold there, even though it's FDA approved. They did this precisely because they don't want Sugar 6 to disrupt their massive empire. Additionally, you won't find Sugar 6 on online platforms like Amazon or eBay due to the large number of counterfeit products. We use the purest and highest quality ingredients in Sugar 6's composition, most of which are imported from other continents. Each ingredient is tested twice before being added to the formula, once by us and once by an independent FDA-approved lab. This ensures purity, potency, and the complete absence of fillers, allergens, or toxins. Each bottle is sealed to guarantee that no harmful chemicals or additives come into contact with the supplement. We maintain these high standards despite the fact that it makes Sugar 6 production quite expensive. Initially, the first batch was sold at $210 per bottle, and people gladly paid that price because they knew the results were guaranteed. Since then, word of mouth spread, with people recommending it to friends, family, and colleagues. And thank God, thousands of health-conscious individuals across the country began placing orders for Sugar 6 daily. So as demand gradually increased, we were able to negotiate a lower price for sourcing the nutrients from foreign suppliers. But instead of keeping the price at $210 per bottle and profiting from it like most big companies would, 8 Health decided to do things differently because our goal has never been about money. I just want my formula to reach as many people as possible, transforming more lives every day. And while it's an ambitious goal, I want to contribute to reducing diabetes rates globally and truly make a difference in the world. It wasn't easy, but I managed to convince 8 Health's executives to cut the price in half to $110. That's the current market price for Sugar 6. But as I promised earlier, for today's viewers of the Better Health program, 8 Health has agreed to offer a unique deal as part of the Zero Diabetes campaign. Today, we're giving up to 3 bottles for free to viewers at home who want to try Sugar 6.
Perfect, Dr. Halbert. So please explain how the Zero Diabetes campaign works and how people can secure their bottles of Sugar 6 right now.
Okay. Well, the Zero Diabetes campaign is a social project by 8 Health aimed at making the highest quality products accessible to people of all income levels. Through this campaign, they offer a special deal where, in addition to paying only the production cost of the formula, people who buy multiple bottles get additional ones for free. But here's the best part. When you purchase 3 bottles, you get 3 more bottles for free, ensuring a 6-month treatment, which is the most recommended option. And they've agreed to offer the same deal to today's Better Health viewers.
So viewers can take home 3 bottles of Sugar 6 completely free today, doctor.
That's right. That's right, Ellen. This is a way to encourage long-term treatment because that's what will truly transform your body and health forever. It ensures you have an entire life ahead to enjoy the freedom of doing what you love alongside those you cherish most. But here's the catch. 8 Health reserves only 10% of its monthly stock for the Zero Diabetes campaign. So this exclusive offer is valid only today, only for those watching this program and only while supplies last. Now, unfortunately, we're very close to running out of stock. There are fewer than 182 bottles available. And with this interview airing, it's only a matter of time before the current stock is gone.
If it hasn't run out already, right?
That's probably true.
And how can our viewers secure Sugar 6 under this exclusive deal right now?
Well, I will tell you, Ellen, as I mentioned, the same deal offered to the Zero Diabetes campaign, we're extending today to those who watched the program until the end and showed they take their health seriously. Here's how it works. When you purchase the 6-bottle kit, you pay for only 3 bottles and get 3 more for free, ensuring a 6-month treatment, the most recommended option. Now, this brings the cost per bottle to just $49 for the 6-month treatment. That's the best choice. Now, not only do you save money, but you also ensure your body continues to foster good bacteria, stabilizing glucose levels and keeping your diabetes out of your life forever. Now, if you prefer, you can go for the 3-bottle kit. You'll pay for just 2 bottles and get 1 for free. This provides a full 3-month treatment with each bottle costing only $59. Now, if you choose the less common option of reserving just 1 bottle of Sugar 6, you'll pay only the production and shipping cost, a one-time payment of only $69. But remember, this is an exclusive deal offered only to viewers of the Better Health program as part of our awareness campaign. It's only available today. So, if you'd like to take advantage of this exclusive offer, click the button below this video.
Perfect. Let's do that. So if you're watching this program now and want to start reversing type 2 diabetes this week, simply purchase the 6-bottle kit using the link below this video to ensure you'll receive all of the permanent benefits of Sugar 6. Now, Dr. Halbert, I have a question. Is there any guarantee for our viewers? Like, how can they be sure that Sugar 6 will work for them?
Well, Ellen, absolutely. 8 Health offers an unconditional 180-day guarantee on all products manufactured in its labs. So, if you're skeptical, I completely understand. You've already spent a lot of money on various medications and treatments, and none of them worked. But we're so confident that Sugar 6 will restore the life you once had that you'll get a full 6 months to try it completely risk-free. That's more than enough time to regulate your gut microbiota and stabilize your blood sugar levels once and for all. Now, if that doesn't happen, you'll get every cent of your investment back. Just request a refund via email. In other words, you'll either free yourself from this disease forever or be 100% reimbursed. And I'll go a step further. I trust our formula so much and I'm so sure that it will completely change your life that if by some magical reason Sugar 6 isn't everything you hoped for, not only will we refund every penny of your investment, but you'll also get to keep the bottles for free as our apology for wasting your time. Does that sound fair? So here's what I suggest. Start taking Sugar 6 and see for yourself how your blood sugar levels drop to healthy levels within days. You'll quickly feel the fatigue, body aches, and tingling disappear. You'll lose fat, gain muscle mass, feel more energetic, and even notice younger looking skin. And finally, within no more than 6 weeks from today, you'll be 100% free from this disease. All of this if you consistently use Sugar 6 for 4 to 7 weeks. And it's worth noting, Ellen, that while people can experience this transformation within a few weeks, during our studies, we found that permanent results appear after 6 to 12 months of consistent use of the formula. So don't wait. Make sure you secure long-term results with our formula. You'll feel completely free from this disease, feeling great, healthy, and enjoying unique moments with your family. Just like the over 36,000 clients who've experienced our revolutionary formula in the fight against diabetes. And if for any reason you're not satisfied with the results or don't like something about the product, though that's never happened before, just contact the email listed on our website and you'll quickly receive 100% of your investment back. No questions asked, no complications. Agreed?
Wow, I've never seen a guarantee like this, doctor. Basically, people only pay if the formula works for them. And if it doesn't, they still get to keep the bottles they purchased for free. Is that right?
That is exactly right, Ellen. A lot of people are afraid of being disappointed, So this guarantee is specifically designed to give people a new chance without the risk of regret. Even I'm cautious when buying something online, so I want people to feel completely secure, knowing that this is a serious and proven solution that can genuinely help. That's why I make it very clear, you only pay if Sugar 6 truly cures your diabetes. Simple as that. Now, before I forget, Ellen, I've prepared one final gift for those who stayed until the end of the program.
Look at that. Today is your lucky day, everyone. And what gift is this, doctor?
Well, I'll tell you. Actually, it's a gift I just decided to include to encourage anyone watching to commit to at least 3 months of treatment for better and longer lasting results. So here's the deal. Anyone who purchases at least 2 bottles of Sugar 6 will receive 2 of my books for free via email. The first is my bestseller, Diabetes Freedom. In this book, I reveal contradictory secrets, but 100% true, that can help anyone suffering from type 2 diabetes lower their blood sugar and take control quickly. Some of the secrets I reveal in this book include the 12 healthy medications that are extremely toxic and might even be raising your blood sugar levels. I'm certain you've taken the 7th medication on this list, by the way. It seems completely harmless, but it's one of the deadliest poisons for type 2 diabetes sufferers. Why people with type 2 diabetes should never attempt a low-carb diet, and how cutting carbs might be one of the biggest mistakes you're making in your treatment. The 7 silent symptoms that your type 2 diabetes is worsening. For example, most people don't know that the color of their nails and the smell of their armpits are directly related to the progression of the disease. If you don't pay attention, this could be a sign that your high blood sugar is becoming increasingly deadly, and so much more. It's not surprising that this book was a bestseller the year it was released. Hundreds of people begged to buy a copy every day, and unfortunately, it's no longer sold in print. But I talked to my team, and anyone who secures any bottle of Sugar 6 today will receive a digital copy of this book 100% for free. Now, additionally, in recent months, I've helped thousands of people reverse their diabetes and eliminate the disease for good. However, even after their blood sugar levels are normalized, many of these people have spent so much time suffering from type 2 diabetes that several organs have been damaged over time. So while you may free yourself from type 2 diabetes after starting Sugar 6, it's likely that your feet may still feel dry. You may still experience tingling sensations. And other parts of your body, like your liver, heart, and even kidneys, might be slightly damaged. After all, this disease has been attacking your body for years. Now, even though you freed yourself from it, the damage it caused can linger and take time to heal. That's why, to accelerate this recovery, I've decided to include another bonus I call strengthening vitamins. In this digital book, I reveal 100% natural smoothie recipes you can make at home using common ingredients like oranges, watermelon, apples, bananas, and more. These recipes are precisely formulated to combat the effects type 2 diabetes may have had on your body. Some of the recipes I share in this book include the Colorado apple recipe, which hydrates dry feet, stimulates collagen production, and permanently heals the infamous diabetic foot. The morning orange recipe, which melts away body fat, reduces blood pressure, eliminates liver fat, and improves cholesterol by 300%. The grape trick, which stimulates endothelial cell production, cleanses your vision, and forces your body to see clearly and sharply. People who've developed conditions like cataracts, macular degeneration, and astigmatism due to type 2 diabetes reported an 86% improvement after using this particular recipe. Then there's the Greek vitamin smoothie, which increases joint lubrication and reduces joint pain almost immediately, and so much more. As you can see, Strengthening Vitamins is a book that will help you improve your overall health in every way, although it's not sold anywhere else. Anyone who secures any bottle of Sugar 6 today will receive a digital copy of this book 100% for free. In summary, you'll secure a 100% natural formula that reverses type 2 diabetes for good. You'll also get a prestigious book revealing crucial secrets you've never been told, like the most dangerous medications for type 2 sufferers and 7 silent symptoms for your diabetes is worsening. And finally, you'll gain a digital book filled with homemade smoothie recipes to eliminate all the symptoms and issues high blood sugar has caused. In short, first, you'll reverse your type 2 diabetes. Then you'll learn vital information to prevent future struggles with the disease. And finally, you'll rid yourself of all the symptoms and problems this condition has caused you so far. That's why my only advice for you now is choose your package below and place your order now. But remember, these bonuses are only available to those who select the 3 or 6 bottle kits right now.
That's great, Doctor. Thank you for giving our viewers this extra gift. So if you're watching us, please, if you take your health seriously, click the button below this video now and secure your bottles of Sugar 6 along with these 2 special bonuses for free. Now, an important question, Dr. Halbert. What about shipping? Is there a cost?
Well, shipping is on us, 100% free across the United States, but there's a catch. Free shipping is only included in this special exclusive promotion, and it will only last while supplies are available. This means that once this interview ends, you'll only be able to purchase your Sugar 6 bottles at the regular price without discounts and with paid shipping. That is, if there are still bottles available. Because as production occurs in several stages with quality checks by external companies, it takes 4 to 6 months for the next batch of Sugar 6 to be ready. Knowing this, it's very common for customers to choose the 6-month treatment to avoid running out and risking their progress. That's why stock runs out so quickly. So if you want to secure the best and most affordable treatment for type 2 diabetes and pre-diabetes in this unique condition, click on the 6-bottle kit or any other option you prefer and place your order right now. As soon as you click the purchase button, you'll be directed to our secure order page, encrypted with the same technology as major banks, ensuring the complete safety of your personal and credit card details. From there, just fill in your information correctly, choose your payment method, and that's it. Once you finalize your purchase, your order will be prepared and shipped directly to your home.
Wow, it's so simple and easy, right? And how long does it take for the treatment to arrive after payment?
Nope, it's very quick. Within 5 to 7 business days, the Sugar 6 bottles will be delivered directly to the buyer's home.
There you go. So if you have diabetes or pre-diabetes and want to use Sugar 6's revolutionary formula to eliminate this issue from your life once and for all, click below and take advantage of this amazing discount Dr. Halbert has agreed to offer our viewers. But don't wait too long because the stock is already running low. And with every passing minute, more people are turning in to watch the program. Doctor, now we'll share a few testimonials from people who have already tried Sugar 6. Shall we?
Absolutely.
Hi, my name is Zed, and my journey with diabetes started years ago. I tried everything. Diet, exercise, teas, meditation, acupuncture, smoothies, healthy recipes, literally everything. I even stopped drinking the beer I used to enjoy every night. Those things helped for a while, but none of them kept me safe from blindness. I ended up losing vision in my left eye despite everything I could to avoid it. To make things worse, I injured myself at home during a renovation, and doctors were already warning me of the serious risk of amputation. I cried out of desperation, doing everything I could to heal the wound, but nothing worked. That's when I had the opportunity to try Sugar 6. And I can say, without hesitation, it was the best decision I've ever made. Today, I'm living a new life. No fear, no stress, full of energy, and still enjoying my favorite beer. I shared it with some friends in a diabetes support group, and everyone was amazed by the results. I'm so grateful to the 8 Health team for always supporting me.
My name is Ava, and the truth is, I've always been skeptical about trying more natural solutions. Looking back, I realized that this mindset caused me a lot of harm. I've been diabetic for over 20 years and have taken every kind of medication the pharmaceutical industry has to offer. But to be honest, the only real improvement I've ever seen in my test results happened when I discovered Sugar 6. I didn't want to try anything new. I'd already accepted my condition. But my son, Mark, well, he insisted. So I gave it a shot. And this is my glucose level today. That's right, 87. Not even when I was younger did I have numbers this good. And it's all thanks to Sugar 6 and the 8 Labs team.
You know, it's so heartwarming to see this, especially after everything I went through with my mother. It's incredibly gratifying to help people and see that my work is making a difference.
And with those beautiful testimonials, we're wrapping up today's program. I truly hope from the bottom of my heart that you watching at home take advantage of this exclusive offer. Stock up on Sugar 6 bottles and take the first step toward a life free of illness, struggles, and worries. Doctor, would you like to share any final words?
Well, I just want to say that I've done everything in my power to make this solution accessible. Now it's up to you to make a decision and give yourself a new chance. You may not realize it, but at this very moment, you're standing at a crossroads with 2 very different paths ahead, leading to entirely opposite lives. The first path is continuing to take medications, pricking your finger, injecting insulin, continuing to deprive yourself, missing out on precious moments, and watching life pass you by without being able to do anything about it. And worse, risking the situation worsening and becoming a burden for the people who love you for the rest of their lives. Is that how you want your children and grandchildren to remember you? If that's how you want to live the rest of your life, that's okay. It's your decision, and I respect it. But if you're someone determined to fight back against this diagnosis, if you want to regain all the energy, independence, and freedom that was taken from you, becoming a source of pride and joy for everyone who loves you, all you need to do is take the first step and click the green button below. Can you imagine the happiness on the faces of those who care about you? The looks of worry and pity transform into looks of admiration, and you can finally lay your head on the pillow without fear or anxiety, knowing you have an entire life ahead of you. And look, I know you may have tried many solutions in the past that only made you more skeptical and hopeless about the future. But trust me, life isn't over yet. Today, you have a new chance, a fresh start to live life on your own terms, with the freedom to do what you want, eat what you want, and savor every little moment of joy with those who love you, because that's what truly matters. Just like Susie, the 65-year-old patient of mine, who barely had the energy to get out of bed. And today, she sent me this photo, all happy and after her morning walk and getting ready to cook her grandkids' favorite pasta. Look at Susie now, full of life and radiating youth. For me, that's priceless. It's what makes me wake up with a smile every day.
That makes it all worthwhile, doesn't it, Doctor? Well, that's it, folks. With this beautiful photo, we're wrapping up here. I hope you enjoyed today's program. And if you haven't secured your Sugar 6 bottles yet, click below and order now before they run out. and go ahead and get the 6-month treatment to avoid any issues. Dr. Halbert, it was an honor having you here with us. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and best wishes for your continued success in your career. May you keep pursuing this mission to help others because it really makes all the difference.
Well, thank you, Ellen. The pleasure was all mine, and I hope to return for another conversation soon.
Absolutely.